Okay, now let's use forms in our PHP code. So here I've gotten ready one form. I have a name for it, and then I have action, and then I have method. And inside the form I have two text boxes and one button. So N1, N2 plus the submit button. So whenever we are working with a server, so we make sure that the button that we use is a submit button. So all the data will be submitted to the server. Now action. So action is whenever you want to do the processing in a different page. So this is sample1.php. Let's say the processing is done in sample2.php. So that means you can put sample2.php over here. So all the data is taken from the form and then passed over to sample2.php for processing purpose. If let's say everything is done in this particular page itself, I can leave it empty. So later I'm going to show you how it works. Method is how we are going to send the data to the server. There's two types of method. One is post, one is get. So for now, I'm going to show you how post is being used. So here I have the PHP portion. First thing what I need to do is I need to capture the value of N1 and N2. So I always create another variable and I'm going to grab the N1 value that the user have keyed in. So in PHP, we do it this way. Square brackets, and then we have N1. And then at the end, we have semicolon. This is just a variable. This one you can't change. You have to follow the spelling. Everything will be in capital letter. And N1 is actually focusing on the name of the text box. So here, why am I using post? Because the method is post. If here I'm using get, so here it will be get. So the same thing I'm going to do for N2. So this one is N2 and I'm grabbing it from N2 text box. So I already have N1 and N2. So now I can do my result. And then N1 plus with N2. I'm going to echo my result. Okay, so done. So this is how you grab the values from the text box. So save this and then I'm going to refresh this page. Alright, so this is the page. Okay, you notice that there's something like an error over here. It's because the PHP portion is running straight away as I load the page. So as I load the page, I don't have the value of N1 and N2. So that is the error that is being displayed here. There's no value for N1 and N2. So automatically my result will be 0. Okay. But if you really put in the value, let's say we put 3 and we put 6 and then we add. The result is actually correct. 3 plus 6 is 9. Okay. So now the problem is if we reload the page again, these two lines is not nice to see. So how do we actually avoid having these two warning signs? So what we can do is we can use if statement, meaning do the calculation if I click on the button. If I did not click on the button, do not do the calculation. So I'm going to use if statement. So first thing, I want to check the button. Did I click on it or not? So in order to do that, I'm using isSet. So I'm grabbing the name of the button, which is add button, and I'm going to check whether did I click on it. Okay, very simple. So if I click on the button, so I will do all these processes inside here. If I did not click on the button, meaning the button value is not set. Is set meaning did I trigger the button or not? Did I click on it or not? Because once a button is clicked, the value changes. So maybe from not having a value, once you click, it will have a value stating that something happened to the button. So that is why you actually use this inbuilt function, isSet. Okay? So if something happened to this particular button, which is this button over here. You can see the name is the same, right? So if that button is triggered, then do all this. If not, don't do any processing. So if I do it this way, save this, and then I run the code again, F5, now you notice the PHP portion is not executed when I load the page. It will be waiting until the button is triggered. So let's say I put in 6 and then I put in 1. Add now, I'll get 7. So this one looks a bit better. How come my result is on top? Because if you look at my codes, I have put all my page, my echo is actually on top of the page. That's why when you display, the result will be on top. If I take this whole thing, and then I put it at the bottom over here, then when I run the code, the results will be at the bottom. Simple as that. Okay. So now, let's look at this action. Currently, all the processing is being done in the same page. What I can do is, I can create another page. Okay, this is sample 1. Okay, let's name this page as process. Okay, so process.php. So this one is a PHP file. Save it as PHP. Double check. Okay, PHP. Now, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to remove all this, cut, and I'm going to paste it at the process.php file, and save it. So what is happening now is, once I have put in my values in the form, I don't want any kind of processing to be done here. So what I want to do is, I want the processing to be done somewhere else. So in this case, my action will not be empty anymore. So the processing will be done in process.php. Okay, simple as that. Okay, the method that I'm using is still post. So save this. Okay, this one is already saved. So very simple. In the process.php page, there's no HTML text, there's nothing. It's just purely PHP. This is not wrong. Okay, it is still okay. So now what I do is, I refresh this page. Okay, so now you can see it is sample1.php. So let's put in some values, 4 and let's say 11. Okay, so I'm going to click this button. So can you see that it has gone to process.php. So it will be displayed in the process.php page because my echo is actually in that page. So if you want to take some value in another page and you want to do processing in another page, you can set your action value, meaning where you want the processing to happen. Remember, if you're doing everything in this page, you don't have to write anything. Or what you can do is, if you still want to write something over here, you can put sample 1, which is the same page. It is the page name. Okay,